I want to talk a little bit about Oprah, because Oprah is someone who's come up a few times in this video, like having, going to the wedding. They had the tea and the little, cottage. And Oprah and these two have an interesting relationship. There were 17 lies that Oprah allowed Harry and Meghan Markle to say about the royals. They all got debunked the next day, and Oprah never asked for proof. Sounds very Oprah to me. I don't think she's one to hold anyone accountable. Piers Morgan has not liked Meghan from day one, and he claims that he does not believe a word she says. And he says in this interview, there were so many disingenuous falsehoods. I don't understand really why I should have to believe people who are not telling the truth, he says.
How do you feel about the palace hearing you speak your truth today?
I don't know how they could expect that after all of this time, we would still just be silent if there is an active role that the firm is playing in perpetuating falsehoods about us. And if that comes with risk of losing things, there's a lot that's been lost already.
I mean, she is an actress, so what do you expect? One of the lies surround Meghan and Harry's wedding, claiming that they had a private wedding without witnesses 3 days before they exchanged vows. Piers said, she claimed they got married 3 days before the big global wedding that we saw on television. He said, I knew that it happened because they were just together with an archbishop, the most powerful churchman in Britain. And if it was just them two and this other man, that is illegal. If it's just the three of them. I guess he actually could be arrested, this archbishop, for conducting this wedding. But you guys know weddings need witnesses and certain people to be there to confirm that it actually happened. And Piers is saying that's not true, Meghan, because that's not following protocol. Since Meghan made the claim to Oprah, the Archbishop has denied legally marrying the pair, but refused to rule out a private vow.
3 days before our wedding, we got married. No one knows that, but we called the Archbishop and we just said, look, this spectacle is for the world, but we want our union between us. So the vows that we have framed in our room are just the two of us in our backyard with the Archbishop of Canterbury, and that was the piece that...
Just the three of us.
Just the
three of us.
Just the three of us.
Now the Archbishop is sharing his side of the story, telling the Italian newspaper La Repubblica, quote, I met the Duke and Duchess of Sussex several times in a private and pastoral setting before the official ceremony on Saturday, May 19th, 2018. That day was the day of the marriage. If I had signed the certificate on a different day, I would have been committing a serious crime. The marriage was celebrated on May 19th, but I won't say what occurred in other...
Another lie that Meghan was caught telling was that she did not get any support from the royal family when it came to mental health. She broke down in tears in the Oprah interview, saying at times she felt like she didn't want to live anymore, but was told by the palace that she couldn't get help because it wouldn't be good for the institution. Piers really claims that he felt like she pushed this narrative that she couldn't get help because she went to two of these staffers and told them her situation, and they said it wouldn't be good for the palace. Well, he's saying that a lot of this family have been open with their mental health issues, and he just does not believe that she would be in a place where the staff would tell her, no, you can't go and get help for having these life-ending thoughts.
Look, I was really ashamed to say it at the time, and ashamed to have to admit it to Harry, especially. Because I know how much loss he's suffered. But I knew that if I didn't say it, that I would do it. And I just didn't want to be alive anymore. And that was a very clear and real, and I said that I needed to go somewhere to get help. And I was told that I couldn't, that it wouldn't be good for the institution.
One of the standout moments from this interview is when Meghan said that she was silenced. Piers said that this idea that Meghan was silenced is completely ridiculous. Meghan guest edited British Vogue magazine in the middle of her silence. Meghan made 73 public appearances during her, quote, silence. He's asking when exactly was she silenced because she's never been silent ever since she started dating Harry. On top of being silenced, Meghan claims that she was also trapped by saying that her passport was taken away by the palace, and that was so she couldn't fly away or take any flights. Piers says that she took 14 flights, some of them on Elton John's private jet, while she was simultaneously along with Harry lecturing us about our carbon footprint.
Is that possible that you can check yourself in someplace?
No, that's what I was asking to do.
Yeah.
You can't just do that. I couldn't, call an Uber to the palace.
Yeah.
You couldn't just go. You couldn't I mean, you have to understand as well, it's when I joined that family, that was the last time until we came here that I saw my passport, my driver's license, my keys, all that gets turned over. I didn't see any of that anymore.
Now, that does sound a little bit ridiculous. While I could imagine they would take this information to, collect it, I can't imagine them stopping her from traveling, and they didn't. That's why I can't believe it, because we saw her all out and about. When her son Archie was born, she claims that he could not get a royal title because of his skin color. Pierce says Meghan said that there were several conversations while she was pregnant in which Harry was having a conversation several times with a member of the royal family about the potential skin color of the child. Pierce claims it's completely untrue that he would not be able to get a royal title because of his skin color, and it's something that, she's claiming as a lived experience, which is completely untrue. It's factually incorrect, and this did not happen, which I also feel like it would be a little bit I don't know, that does sound a little bit aggressive to be talking about the baby's skin color before it's even born.
And also concerns and conversations about how dark his skin might be when he's born.
There's a conversation with you?
With Harry.
About how dark your baby is going to be?
Potentially, and what that would mean or look like.
Ooh.
The problem with Archie receiving a title is that he is not in the place to receive a title yet. Pierce says that boy was never going to be a prince until Prince Charles, Harry's father, becomes king on the death of the Queen. And that will happen, and whatever skin color Archie is, he's going to become the prince. That's just how it's been going for 100 years. So for Meghan to try to create a story saying that the decision to not give Archie the title of prince was based on his skin color is a lie. Now, is she deliberately lying? Is she completely delusional? I don't know, and I don't care. Pierce also claims that there are certain things that Meghan has said that just don't add up. Pierce says when a journalist does a journalist's job, which is to express skepticism about some of the more outlandish claims, like a secret wedding, like the story about Archie becoming a prince and so on, even down to the small stuff. She'd never had an interest in the royals, and there are pictures of her draped over Buckingham Palace railings when she was a teenager and so on. So essentially, Pierce is calling out the fact that Meghan claims that she never even knew about the royal family. She got into it and did not even research before she got into it. Yet there are pictures of her, I guess, from the past where she was at the palace, and she very much knew who the royals were. I mean, I don't know if you can go and say oh, she planned this entire wedding and to marry him someday, but you're not ignorant to who this family was, and now that you're a part of it, don't act brand new.
I've never looked up my husband online. I just didn't feel a need to, because everything that I needed to know he was sharing with me, right?
There's so much information that you can find of how she loved Diana and the Queen, and how she was friends with people that had certain links to the royals, how she was friends of friends with Eugenie and even Harry. There's links to his Eton friends. So yeah, I mean, not the smartest trick in the book, is it, to have all of these blog posts? But I think that the TIG is coming back, so maybe there'll be more.
It's interesting she's a fan of Princess Diana because she had the opportunity to kind of become that and actively chose not to. In April 2021, Harry returned to the UK for the first time after Prince Philip had passed away. He was at the funeral and photographed talking and walking with William and Kate. A body language expert said that William did his best to open his body language towards his brother. You have to look at the fact that he turned it toward him. And so in that opening, that's saying, come on in, let's talk, let's chat. He didn't walk side by side, but he actually turned towards his brother. Which you guys know, the experts love to break down every second of the royals, but maybe a death would be something to bring this family back together. Though a month after they had this funeral, there was a statement saying that the Queen was unimpressed with Harry's latest interview and found it hurtful because he decided to go and do some interviews after his trip and he talked some crap. Charles feels tortured by Harry and his constant digs. He wishes he would just let it drop. The general consensus within the royal family is to ignore Harry's behavior. One insider noted that with the way that things are going, Charles may never forgive Harry, which hasn't gone down well with Elizabeth. But the Queen is proud of William for taking this approach, unlike Charles, and trying to be friendly to Harry. And even though these people might be more boring than the Kardashians, they definitely have their drama.